Hi, everybody. I'm Micki, and this is Alma. Say hi.
Hi.
And my beautiful friend Kara, that I've known since I was born. Say hi, Kara.
Hi.
And we're going to read today. Well, I'm going to read Circumference and All the King's Tens. It's a math adventure written by Cindy. How do we say her name?
Cindy, like,
Neuschwander.
Neuschwander.
And illustrated by Wayne Geehan.
Okay.
Just so you know, I didn't write this book, okay? Not yet. So the last time we saw the king, he seemed a bit gloomy, said Lady Di of Amateur to her husband, Circumference, one day. His birthday is soon. Let's give him a surprise party here at our castle to cheer him up. We can invite people from the entire countryside. Well, that's a fine idea, said Circumference. We'll plan a huge celebration for him. So here you see is Lady Di of Amateur. So that's like the word diameter. And then here is her husband, Circumference. Who's this guy, do you think, in the background?
Maybe he's like the cooker.
Oh, yeah, he's probably the chef. And then do you know who this little guy is, their son? Do you know his name?
No.
His name is Radius. You've maybe seen him in other math adventures. Okay, Lady Di sent out invitations. Servants rushed about the castle, cleaning and cooking. Carpenters built long wooden tables, while seamstresses sewed tents. Why would they need tents, do you think?
So like the people could like sleep there if like the party was like overnight.
Oh, right. Or maybe even just to block them from the sun. Sometimes you have a tent, like when you go to the, well, they were just talking about the farmer's market. So the farmer's market, they have little tents, so that they can stay protected from the sun.
Yeah.
Each day, more kept coming. Oh, wait, no. Guests began to arrive in groups. Each day, more kept coming. Lady Di showed the guests where to stay. Rooms filled up quickly. So they have a huge castle, and they're able to accommodate all these people. The castle is already exploding with guests, and an even bigger group is arriving this afternoon, she said. She told Circumference one day, King Arthur's party is tonight, but I'm not ready. What a royal mess. Circumference nodded. I'll gather everyone in the meadow and put them out, and get them out of your way. So he's telling everyone to get out of the castle so she can finish up. Do you see, what do you see in the picture?
I see the cook
Yeah.
and
Lady Di of Amateur,
Lady
right?
Di and then Circumference.
Right, and they send pigeons with a little message saying, you are invited. Actually, it says, ye are invited. Ye are invited. And there's all the people. There's Radius chasing a chicken. Soon the large crowd stood in the grassy field outside the castle walls. The king will arrive in a few hours, began Circumference. Let's practice a royal march of greeting. Would everyone step smartly towards the center of the meadow? Pandemonium broke out. Oh, that's a big word. What is that word? Pandemonium. What do you think that means? Pandemonium broke out. Well, let's read the rest and maybe you could figure it out. Knees marching high, knocked into arms swinging wide. The knights of the round table crashed into each other, falling into a metallic heap. So this word pandemonium, it's kind of like, what do you think is going on? Are they very organized?
No, they're like going like crazy.
Yes, pandemonium. It's like basically they're just not really very orderly at all. Lady Di appeared in the middle of this confusion. I need to know how many guests there will be for lunch, and then how many for dinner, she called to her husband over the clatter. Circumference waved his arms. Attention, he bellowed. We need to know how many of you there are, but everyone keeps milling around. Counting the crowd seemed like an impossible job. So why do you think they need to know all of the people that are there? Look at the chef. What is he doing?
He's writing all of them down so they know how many.
So they know how many. Why do they care how many? What does that matter?
Because if they don't cook the right amount, the people that they didn't count won't get any food.
Exactly right. You have to know how many people are coming to the party. Sir Kell, that's the guy's name. Sir Kell sounds kind of like a circle, right? Sir Kell followed with a suggestion. Forming small circles of people might work, he said. Each group could count its members and call out how many to Lady Di, and then she could add them up. Well, let's try it, said Circumference, shepherding the guests into groups. So they're all going to get into nice little circles, and then they'll call out the numbers. So they call it out: 61, 111, 58, 17, 46, cried out the voices from the crowd. No good, said Lady Di, stopping them. My head is spinning just trying to keep track of all of those numbers. That would be hard to add up in your head, right? All of those numbers: 61, 111, 58, 17, 46. Why are those numbers so hard to add up, I wonder?
Because they're like really high numbers.
They are, and they have a lot of digits, don't they? We could march in one straight line, said Sir Lion Segment, counting from one as we pass. So the group formed a queue. Have you ever heard that word queue before?
No.
Here's the word queue. Starts with a Q. And that Q, the word queue means line. They use that a lot in England. Okay, so get in the queue. So they're moving into a queue, and now they start moving forward, and as they pass Lady Di, the line was so long, it disappeared down the hill. That's not a very efficient way to count up all the people. Do you have any other ideas? What would you maybe do if you were Lady Di? How would you count all these people?
You could count them like 2 by 2 or like 10 by 10 or something.
Oh, interesting. Have you read this book before? No. So maybe you those are some good ideas. Let's see what Lady Di does. Too slow, noted Lady Di. The king's birthday will have come and gone before I finish figuring this out. I'm getting rather hot standing here, complained Sir Tangent inside his armor. Others agreed. Let's set up some tents, said Circumference. We can get into the shade, and then we can think of another way to count everyone. So they're going to get inside the tents to block themselves from the sun. On the edge of the meadow, the castle workers erected a small tent. Immediately, knights, ladies, and villagers rushed inside. It bulged dangerously. That tent is just too tiny, huffed Sir Tangent as he walked out. It doesn't even hold 10 people. He threw up his hands in impatience. Maybe this party for the king was a bad idea, Lady Di said to Circumference. Tempers are beginning to flare, and I still don't know how many meals to serve. Wow, this party is sounding kind of chaotic, isn't it?
Yeah.
We need a new idea, said Circumference. Then he passed and smiled. Maybe they should use your idea, don't you think? Or maybe we can use part of everyone's idea. I think I have a solution. He stepped into the middle of the meadow. Attention, everyone. Please gather into small groups. As Sir Kell suggested, Spread those groups into lines as Sir Line's segment described. Each line should have 10 people. Oh, just like you said. Like
Uh-huh.
10 fingers on Sir Tangent's hands. Don't you have 10 fingers too?
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of us do. Maybe not everybody, but most. The crowd grouped themselves as Cumference directed. Lady Di started to count, but there were still too many rows. And they're ready to cook the meal. You see they have some barrels here with fish, flour, eel. That sounds like a delicious meal. Fish, flour, eel. So they're going to get into groups of 10 by 10. So if we put 10 rows together, that would equal 100. Do you know where they're getting 100 from? 10 rows of how many people each?
10.
And do you know what 10 times 10 is?
10. We don't do times.
You know it's 10 times 10, right?
But 10 times 10 is?
No, is 100.
It is 100. We call that a perfect square because it's a square. You see that? I have all these little squares. Then we put 10 rows together. That would equal 100, she said. That would make counting even more quickly. The hot but patient guests moved into larger formations. I'm counting 9 groups of 100. What would 9 groups of 100 be? Do you know?
900.
You're right. That was so easy to count up, wasn't it? 9 groups of 100, Lady Di said. So that makes, and there's another 8 rows of 10 and 1 row of only 7. So that's 900 plus 80 plus 7, and that's going to be a total of 987.
87.
Nice. Did you know that already?
Yeah.
Good. So now at least I know how many lunches we need. Gosh, can you imagine making 987 lunches?
Wow. That's a lot.
That's why our baker or our chef, he looks a little sweaty and nervous. Hopefully he doesn't sweat in the food, right?
Yes, that would be gross.
That would be gross. Then 25 more people arrived from the small town of Lower Numberton. Welcome, said Lady Di, smiling. Wow, she's still smiling. Could you get together into rows of 10? And then could 3 of you join the line of 7? That will make another row of 10. 2 new groups joined the 10. Wait, 2 new groups of 10 joined the other 8 rows of 10 and made a new group of 100. 1 more row of 10 remained, and a lone farmer and his wife were standing shyly just beside it. Look, there they are.
Yeah.
How can you tell that it's a farmer and his wife?
Because he's like, their clothes look like farmers, and he has a tool.
Yes, he's got like a pitchfork, okay? That is funny that they put that in here because there's a famous picture of a farmer and his wife. Anyway, that's so funny that they're standing there. Oh my, now we're up to 1,012 guests, murmured Lady Di. Here we have a tent of 9,990, and then there's going to be 9. Several more tents of different sizes were set up to provide shade to everyone. To the left of the tiny tent that fit 9 people or fewer, the castle workers pitched a larger tent. It could hold up to 9 rows of 10 or 99. 9 rows of 10 or 90, sorry, not 99, 90. Next to that tent, there was an even bigger one for as many as 9 groups of 100, an enormous tent next to that crowd for up to 9,000. 9,000 people, that would be a lot. We're serving lunch in the largest tent, declared Lady Di. As everyone was finished with the last lunch bits, a cloud of dust appeared in the distance. More guests are coming.
Oh, no.
It was a huge group from the king city of Camelot. Greetings, Circumference, called the leader of the caravan. We're here for the party. The king and his nobles should arrive shortly. Well then, said Circumference, rubbing his hands together briskly. Let's find a place for you all. And there's the people from Camelot, and their sign says Camelot. It took a while, but the Camelot guests were finally organized. They had 8 groups of 1,000, 9 groups of 100, 8 groups of 10, and 7 singles. Lady Di sent a messenger back to the castle to add 8,987 to the 1,012 guests who were already there for the evening feast. Do you see all the people?
That's a ton of people.
It's a ton of people. Would you want to have a party that big?
No.
You don't think all those people could fit in your house?
No, my house is really small.
It's not a castle, huh?
No.
You will need to put up another huge tent for dinner, said Circumference. Yes, agreed Lady Di, and we could really surprise the king if everyone stayed hidden until his arrival. Look at the poor chef. Do you see him?
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine you were this guy. You had to cook for all those people. You like to cook, but maybe not for 10,000 people or however many. I lost count. I don't know how many we have yet. We'll have to count them up. So they assigned each guest a tent. The meadow became a nightly number neighborhood. Oh, a nightly number neighborhood where there were 9 folks in the first tent. So you see the little tiny tent, 9 people in there. I would rather be in that tent with 9 people. And then that was in the first tent. And then there were 90 in the second tent. See, this bigger tent has 90. Right here is 90. And then there were 900 in the third tent. And then there was 9,000 in the fourth tent. The fifth tent was empty except for a long wooden table and benches. Lady Di passed out silk scarves to each person, saying, the color of your scarf matches the tent flag, so they know where to go. When the entire group gathered to practice their surprise greeting for the king, they had rehearsed it only once when the trumpets blared in the distance. Bum, ba, boom! Why do you think they're blaring a trumpet? Because it's the king has arrived, yelled Circumference. Hurry into your tents and wait for my signal.
Ready?
When the entire group gathered to practice their surprise for the king, they had rehearsed only once the trumpet blared in the distance. Boom, boom, boom! What does that mean?
It means that the king is coming.
It's true. The king is arriving, yelled Circumference. Hurry into your tents and wait for my signal. Ye banquet tent.
Yee.
When the king arrived, he had a sour look on his face. It's my birthday, he muttered grumpily. Why would he be grumpy? It's his birthday. And I've been stuck on the back of a horse for hours. What are all these tents for? I'm in no mood for a jousting tournament. Do you know what a jousting tournament is?
Yeah, it's like a sport that they used to do. Maybe they still do it. I'm not sure. Do they still do it?
I actually don't think they do because it's pretty brutal. Somebody might die in a jousting tournament, so I don't think it's very safe. But they go on.
Use.
What'd you say?
What do they use?
They use a long stick like this pole, and then they try to knock each other off of the horse. That's jousting.
Mm.
Circumference and Lady Di welcomed the king. Your Majesty, said Lady Di, showing him to his seat of honor. A birthday guest, or a birthday greeting for you, said Circumference, bowing and clapping his hands. This was the signal for the hidden guests, and they were waiting for it. So here's Lady Di, here is Circumference, here's little Radius with his chicken, and there's the king. He's in a bad mood. Do you think he's going to react well when everybody jumps out and surprises him?
Maybe.
Maybe. That'd be kind of fun. I had a surprise party one time when my mom gave me a surprise party when I was 16, I think, or 15 maybe. I don't know. They streamed out of the tent, singing and dancing. The king was surprised. His sour look began to turn into a smile.
Yay.
Yay. At the end of their performance, everyone lifted and lowered their scarves, one row after another. Oh, it's like a wave, right? Starting with the largest group, the 9,000, then the 900, then the 90, and then finally the 9. How many people is that altogether?
9,000, like
990,
99.
Yes, 9,999. They're one person away from being 10,000. It looked as if the shimmering ocean waves were crashing at the feet of the king. He stood and applauded. Well done. Thank you, my friends. Lady Di clapped her hands. And now, let's eat. After a tasty dinner, the cooks brought out an enormous birthday cake and other delicious sweets. The guests cheered, and the king blew out the candles. Then everyone heard the thunder of hoof prints. Uh-oh, said Circumference. Another group approaches. Their flag showed them from the city of adding more, because they're going to add more people. And then how is the poor chef responding to more people coming?
He was like, ah, because he can't cook anymore.
Right. He's been cooking all day, basically, for 9,999 people. How many more guests will we need, or tents will we need? They wondered out loud. And how many desserts will that be? Said Lady Di. I hope we have enough cake. So the concept of place value, that's what we've been talking about this whole time, place value, or where a number lives, allows us to make any number using the digits 0 through 9. A digit's place tells us its value and how much it's worth. So in the story, we had 9,000, you see that? 9,999 guests show up for King Arthur's party. The number tells us where there are 9 groups of 1,000, and then there are 9 groups of 100, 9 groups of 10, and 9 single guests. The guests fill the tent in the nightly number neighborhood. The next time you see big numbers, try to imagine that the digits live in the number neighborhood. Each digit's place, or tent, is 10 times bigger than the one to its right. So you see the 9,000 is much bigger. It's actually 10 times bigger than the 900, and the 900 is 10 times bigger than the 9 tens, and the 9 tens is 10 times bigger than the 9 ones. And that's why they're using the word tent, like 10.
Yeah.
What do you think about that book, Circumference and All the King's Tens?
I like it.
You liked it? What was your favorite part?
My favorite part was the pictures where the chef was like really mad because he looked really funny.
He did look funny. And I just realized, look at this. My earrings are like Harry Potter. Can you see them?
Oh yeah, that's so cool.
They're like lightning bolts. Well, that was so fun. Thank you for reading with me, Alma and Kara.
I'm back. I'm on my knees, so I